Hello, I'm Abigail, accompanied by my team, Akarsh, Christopher, Richard, and Dylan, and today we would like to discuss the ethics of using facial recognition technology. First, we would like to discuss the history of facial recognition technology. Facial recognition technology has a relatively short history, starting in the 1960s with programs that required individuals to manually input 20 facial measurements for each image in a database. Nearly 20 years later, AI was introduced to facial recognition technology and catalyzed the first idealized, non-theoretical use of facial recognition technology in the 1990s. With the quick evolution of facial recognition technology, institutes like the Defense Advancement Research Projects Agency created various programs and competitions to encourage development. This development then fed into the early 2010s use of deep learning, a tool still used today to accelerate development. With the promise of new possibilities, in 2014, Facebook used its own facial recognition algorithm called DeepFace, inspiring many other companies to invest in facial recognition. From this point on, facial recognition technology has appeared in commercial, industrial, legal, and governmental settings. Facial recognition has foundations in commercial, industrial, legal, and governmental use, but has also taken on a global development. As facial recognition technology continues to evolve at a rapid pace with new implications, policies and procedures all around the world are constantly evolving to combat rising concerns and issues.
There are quite a few commercial uses of facial recognition technology. No matter the industry, it can help businesses glean more information about their customers, make informed business decisions, and increase their revenues. Shopping malls and megastores like Target, Apple, Walmart, and etc. have used facial recognition to identify shoplifters, target loyal customers, and track customer reactions within the store. Additionally, facial recognition is used every day on phones all around the world. Almost every new phone is now unlocked with facial recognition. Moreover, when going to your photos on your phone, you'll be able to see that the phone is able to sort your pictures based on who shows up in them. Another commercial use of facial recognition is used in gaming systems, a quite newer implementation in AR/VR games that can actually recognize you from your face throughout gameplay and further engulf you in the gaming experience. There's obviously more heavy uses of facial recognition rather than just commercial use. For example, police officers can better figure out a person's movements before going missing and locate where he or she was last seen. They can isolate the appearances of specific individuals in a video sequence and accelerate investigators' jobs in child exploitation cases. Facial recognition can be used to enable police to track and identify past criminals suspected of additional crimes and can be used to support investigators searching for video evidence in the aftermath of an incident. Additionally, thanks to deep learning and face analysis, it is already possible to track a patient's use of medication more accurately, detect genetic diseases, and support pain management procedures just based off facial recognition. Finally, know your customer with facial recognition online is a hot topic, resulting in increased mobile usage, urging businesses to have a mobile-first focus and develop fully mobile user-friendly onboarding experience.
One of the shortcomings of facial recognition technology is how it's more of a specialized tool than it may seem. NIST tested algorithms from various research labs and found that they were near perfect under ideal conditions. But realistically, most cameras won't capture images like this, so you need to be careful about how and where this is actually applied. So, for example, in that image above, that if the police wanted to catch him, even the best algorithms wouldn't do anything. And this is just concerning the accuracy of the algorithms. There's also the concerns of how we should store the data, privacy, and debates about usage of biometrics in general. With issues such as bad inputs, we have the responsibility to account for them and be clear about these limitations. One way is to implement confidence scores. So take airport security, for example. If we're scanning passengers' boarding flight tickets with their picture at the airport and someone gets flagged as a terrorist, we have to be absolutely certain that that's the case. Even if we have a system like this, you still need to make sure that the client knows about the limitations.
Ethics and professional responsibility in facial recognition. Inaccuracies. Facial recognition technology relies on algorithms that analyze an individual's facial features. However, studies show that facial recognition systems are less accurate when identifying individuals with darker skin tones. This is because the algorithms have been trained on datasets consisting primarily of lighter-skinned individuals as well as primarily male. These inaccuracies have severe consequences, particularly in law enforcement, where false positives can lead to misidentification and wrongful arrest. This segues into the use that the Detroit Police Department had access to the cameras installed by the Project Greenlight Detroit. The problem was that these cameras were only installed in black majority areas, And additionally, these facial recognition features were used to identify protesters and demonstrators, potentially chilling free speech and assembly rights. Data without consent. The collection and use of facial recognition data without an individual's consent raises significant ethical concerns. Many facial recognition systems operate in public spaces where individuals may not be aware that their faces are being captured and analyzed. This data can be used for a variety of purposes, including marketing, surveillance, etc. The lack of transparency and accountability around the collection and use of facial recognition data can lead to potential misuse and abuse, with individuals having little control over how their personal information is being used.
Out of many ongoing debates over the use of facial recognition technology, the two most prevalent topics are privacy and bias. Facial recognition technology offers powerful applications in security, law enforcement, marketing, and convenience, but raises important ethical questions that we must consider as a society. Beginning with the privacy aspect, proponents argue that facial recognition enhances public safety and security by enabling efficient surveillance, identifying suspects, and reducing crime rates. This technology also brings convenience to daily life, streamlining experiences such as unlocking devices, boarding planes, and making payments. However, opponents worry about the erosion of privacy with constant surveillance infringing on personal freedoms. They fear misuse by governments or companies with potential for unauthorized tracking, targeting of dissenters, and even risk of sensitive information being exposed through data breaches. In the debate over bias, supporters believe that facial recognition can improve objectivity by automating decision-making and reducing human bias. They argue that technology can ensure fair and consistent application of rules and standards in areas such as hiring, law enforcement, and social services. Opponents counter that the technology itself is biased due to historically and socially biased training data. They point to the disproportionate impact on marginalized groups, particularly ethnic minorities and women, who often face higher rates of false identification and wrongful accusations. In response to these concerns, some suggest potential solutions to mitigate bias, such as using diverse and representative training data sets, conducting regular algorithm audits, and supporting ongoing research to develop fair and unbiased facial recognition systems.